My name's Tom Foster. Back in the days, it was Tommy. Now it's my professional name is Tom Foster. Uh, Started out volunteering in 1981 and worked through the ranks to assistant chief. And then in 1992 or 93, we started the part-time paid, and I was hired as the operations commander. And then in 1997, we started with the full-time fire department. 12-hour days, and then I was hired as the assistant chief then, and I was here for 35 years and retired in November of 2016. But it all started back as a kid. My uncle was the fire chief here for over 25 years. And so I was, as a kid growing up, Mom would always take me to the fire station. I'd stay there with my Uncle Chuck, was Charles E. Newby, who the Station 1 was named after at one time, and I just grew up there. And as soon as I was eligible to become a volunteer, I joined. It's made me a better person, made me learn how to care about people, and it was not just a job or an adventure, what they say. It was all about, taking care of the public and the community. We were big into community events back in the days, which y'all are now, but it was, we had bonfires and for the high school and stuff. We had, the parades were different. Kids, all the family, the kids always came down to the fire station. They all lived there. Chief Davis was one of the kids I pushed around in a stroller. And Chief Jacobs, I mean, they were all there as kids. It just makes you a better person. It makes you love the service that we give back to the community. It's a family. I mean, still to this day, I've been gone 9 years, and I still communicate with all the retired folks, with the ones that are still here, meeting them, seeing them at conferences. I guess my biggest deal is watching these people that I hired in the positions they're in today. Chief Davis, Chief Lozier, Chief Jones, Chief Jacobs, and all the way up through the first round of people we hired. It was just amazing to see the growth that I was a part of that. There were some trying times, but it was if you don't have trying times, then something's not right. You can't be all happy-go-lucky. Towards the end of my career, there was a lot of trying times. Between those, we were such a tight group, and my door was always open, and always knew they could talk to me. We'd have altercations, and we'd hug and love each other when we left. And but I was very much a firefighter's chief, and made sure that they got whatever I could do to get them. And it all revolves around our friendships, our family friendships, and that we're one big happy family, and everybody loved each other. I mean, we could be mad as all get out at you, but we still loved you. When it started and stuff, we built all our fire trucks. I mean, they'd come in with a chassis, and on Monday nights, we would, the metal would come out, and we would build everything. And I guess the joke was, if it didn't have silicone or bungee cords on it, then it wasn't done right. Anywhere from brush truck to our tack trucks, things just kept evolving. And we got our first ladder truck in '95, and we thought that was the biggest thing. The rescue tools we received, we were the only one in Johnson County that had a set of rescue tools in the 1980s. And so we went all over Johnson County and extricating people. It's just the technology has gone so much better throughout the years. Camaraderie. Don't ever lose that family touch. Spend 2/3 of your life here. I mean, I know what the 4896 is, there's more time off and stuff, but it's, making that phone call, go, hey, I'm in trouble. Hey, I need your help. Or, hey, my wife's sick, can you do this? Or anything. You've got to you got to do your job, but you also got to know that your chief, which you have now, has your back. And he'll fight for you. And just like we did back in those, we fought for our personnel, and don't ever lose that personal touch. Enjoy every moment of it, because you have a job that we make calls to people's worst. It's their worst call. It's the worst time of their life, and have a stay positive attitude. I know there's days where you're in a bad mood, you're tired, you're wore out, but do those back at the station. Treat the patients and the people with the utmost care, like you would want your mom and dad to be treated, or your brother and sister be treated. And enjoy the career you have. This is the best job in the world.
Dakota Hatfield. I've been here, I'm on my 10th year right now. Currently an engineer. I've been driving for about 4 years and firefighter for 6 years before that. The bond aspect, it really changes between crews, kind of what they, I guess, like-minded people will stay together, right? So I would say personally, my bond with my crew is pretty strong in the sense that we can all depend and we can all rely on each other if we need it. Like if some of us have some days when we're not fully there, we have others that are 100% willing to pick up the slack for that person. So I think like we're rooted together really strong on my crew, especially because we're constantly grinding together. So we're constantly doing mask up drills. We're training, we're working out. It doesn't really matter what we're doing, but the key is we're doing it together. What do I love most? There's a lot to love, but I would say just something different every day, and there's a different challenge every day too. And as I'm progressing through my career, like especially I'm figuring out that there's more than just challenges on the fire ground, or there's more than just challenges on a crazy call that you're on. A lot of challenges are in the firehouse that we need to confront as leaders. Every call is different and you're challenged in a different way. But I think that's what kind of keeps me motivated to keep learning and to keep growing, because there's still so much that I don't know. There's so many different avenues that you can go down in this career to progress in your role. I enjoy the process of getting better because it just takes dedication. And once you're dedicated for a while, you can see how your work is paying off. And then once your work is paying off, you see the fruits from it, to me, that just motivates me to just want more. So the department's grown a lot since I have been hired here. So we're more than doubled since whenever I started. And man, I think just bringing on all the new faces has been awesome. Just bringing in the different experience from people, and just watching everybody kind of adapt to their crew has been really cool to see. What I would like to see get better is me personally individual growth through people. I think we still have a lot of room for people to grow, including me. But I've been trying, especially here lately, to just really help the people that I'm surrounded with, just help them along and get them on this growth mindset. At the end of the day, I don't care if I look good. I'm going to try to give my maximum effort at anything I do. But I think there's a whole other level in bringing the people up around you. If you can figure out how to communicate that, and if you can figure out how to motivate people to give their best effort, that's the secret. That's the secret sauce. Dedication and consistency. That's really what makes or breaks you, right? Because there's tons of days that I don't feel like training. Like today, I would rather take a nap and sit here and talk to you right now. But you know what? I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee and I'm gonna come out here and give you the best that I can give. But it's that dedication aspect. Just try to be about something bigger than yourself. We are much more engaged in the community. It seems like we go to a lot of things, which sometimes it is a bit of a grind. However, whenever I'm done, I notice the impact that it has. I notice that like there's tons of kids that come up and they're all ready to see the fire truck, and some of them even have on their own little bunker gear set and all this and that. And like whenever you see an event on the calendar, sometimes you can think, oh man, like we're gonna be busy this evening. But then once you get there, and you get thrown into the mix of it, you realize how it can really shape these folks, and how much of an influence it has on this other generation. Describe this department in one word. I would say currently now, I would probably have to say friendly. And that's because I feel like we're at a place now in the department where people's true colors are coming out. And I think it's overall it's a positive experience for us.
Okay, my name is John Crocker. I started on the department in 1972 as a firefighter. And as time went on during the 20-year period, I was captain, assistant chief, and then fire chief. I learned a lot, an awful lot. You know, I had a lot of good friends on the department that worked with me and helped me, you know, learn the things that we needed to do. We all worked together. And, it was a great bunch of people. I think there's a good bond here. The department has really changed a lot. I think since I left in '92, what was that, 30 something?
34 years ago.
34 years ago. What a difference. The friendship I had with a lot of the people became real friendship, you know, even after the department, you know. And it still goes on today, you know, those that are still around, you know. Training, it's changed in training, equipment, course equipment, you know. We used to build our own fire trucks, you know, back a long time ago. City would buy the chassis, and we'd work sometimes way up in the wee hours of the morning. We had Butch Smith, Ernie Parker, just several other people. They were welders, and we built our own trucks. I don't know if you've ever seen any pictures of some of them, but look pretty good. Listen, train, support each other, support your administration, make things good for everybody. You know, just be a team, be a family, you know. I think it's superior. And I think that has to do with the very beginning of the people who started the fire department right up to the present. It's never gone backwards. It's always moved forward. And the people that have been a part of this department since the beginning of 1925 or whenever, I think that's about when it was started. I think that from that point, that the people who took an interest in the department and all the firefighters after that have made this department and made it what it is, and it's a proud department.
My name's Daniel Polson. I'm an engineer, and I've been on the department for 5 years now. I'd say it's very tight-knit. A lot of people, myself included, some of the best friends have come from meeting people on the job here. I think that a lot of the relationships that people have built here will last longer than when they retire or go somewhere else. I think we have a strong brotherhood here. I think it's easier to know each person individually. Not so easy to become a number in the system. Or somebody asks you if you know so-and-so on the fire department. You know everybody. There's not one person who you don't know, at least on a first name basis. So I think just being personal with each other happens a lot more here than it does other departments. Those people have helped push me to be better myself, strive for achieving difficult things. I've overcome a lot of challenges here, and I've achieved things that I never would have thought I would have achieved without the motivation from my friends and coworkers up here. I think one of my favorite things is the problem-solving aspect, getting to apply your knowledge to different situations. Obviously, the camaraderie, that's a big one, but I like being challenged and with different scenarios, whether it's on a call or around the station. I think everybody goes through kind of seasons. Some parts of it you appreciate different things. I think generally it's all stayed the same though. Like I said, camaraderie and the uniqueness of the job, that stays pretty constant day to day. Just so much growth has happened. I think the whole department itself has changed. I just hope that we continue to adapt well. I think that's one thing we do well, is to be able to change directions at the drop of a hat and to be able to adapt quickly as opposed to having to take longer times to implement processes and stuff. So I just hope that we continue to adapt quickly and react accordingly to things that need to change. And there's always going to be moments that stand out throughout my career. I'm just getting started, so I'm sure I'll have a lot of good ones to come, but I mean, it's always just the riding around in the truck and fun times on calls, just stuff that's always happening, little things here and there that other people may not pick up on or may not stand out to somebody else. I feel like everybody has unique perspectives on different moments. Hope they remember the dedication of the members that are here now. Also, respecting the members that were here before. There's been a lot of effort that's been put into growing this department to what it is, whether it was back in the volunteer days or the guys now. We do a lot of training. There's just a lot of heart. I hope that they remember how much everybody cares for this place. Perception is 99% of the fire service, I feel like. Just being aware of how you're perceived by others, whether it's in the public or people that you work with. Just remembering that's very important, how people perceive your actions and your words. I feel confident in all of our members here. Being born and raised in Burleson, it was always cool to see them out and interacting with the community. That was one thing that I appreciated. Now I get to go do that and give back to the community. But being very active in the community, I think that it gives security to citizens, and that they can have faith to know that we're going to do the right thing and take care of them right. If I had to pick one word, I think that we've evolved a lot for such a young department. We've been a career department for just over 20 years. I think compared to all the departments around us, I think we've made a lot of progression for being as young as we are. I think as long as we keep that in mind, it's easy to get set back and knocked on your feet because we feel like we're behind other people. But in reality, I mean, we're progressing farther and faster than they are, just doing it at a much quicker pace.
My name's Mark Crawford. I joined the fire department in 1984 as a junior firefighter. I did that until I was old enough to join the regular fire department. And then I volunteered until 1998, where we went paid, and I was fortunate to be one of the first paid firefighters. And I was a captain at the fire department. We have 4 generations on the Burleson Fire Department. My grandfather, Chuck Newby, was the fire chief for 38 years, and then my father served the department for 28 years. And I was on for about 16 years, and then my son, Trevor, is now currently a firefighter paramedic. Fire department means a lot to me, Burleson Fire Department. I love Burleson Fire Department. I grew up at the fire station with my grandfather and my father being on the department, and I remember all the old timers from the 70s and 80s, and just being a kid around the fire station, it imprinted on me to want to be a firefighter. And I was fortunate enough to be able to make a career out of it when I got older. And that wouldn't have happened without the Burleson Fire Department. I think it's important for us to remember those people who came before us and built the department, because like my father was saying, times were different back then, right? You spent hours and hours volunteering your time, getting up in the middle of the night, leaving your wife at the restaurant for the fire department. And we're looking at 100 years, and the first 80 years or so was carried by volunteers. Burleson always was blessed to be one of the bigger departments in our region, and so we were on the map for training. We had the first commercially built fire engine for a volunteer fire department in this county. It was the only engine in the county that carried the jaws of life. So anytime there was an entrapment anywhere in Johnson County, Burleson Fire Department responded with that truck and the rescue squad, and was able to help extricate patients. So I just remember the stories. One of the stories I remember is when I was a kid, the bowling alley caught fire, and they couldn't get in the front doors because they were locked. And so my grandfather, Chuck Newby, went to the back door and held his breath and ran all the way through the building and opened the doors so they could go in the front. I mean, things we wouldn't do nowadays, but back then things were different. I would have to say that my best memories and my best friends are because of Burleson Fire Department. I'm still very close to the guys that I volunteered with back then and the guys that got to go paid. We tried, I think it was the goal of Kerry Kinney, the fire chief, when we went paid, was to try to have as many as our volunteers be able to become paid. And so we did ramp up a couple years beforehand. What advice would I give to any future Burleson firefighters? It would be to always remember that there's 1,000 guys out there that want your job. And so when you're having a bad day, just remember that you're very blessed to have this job. It's the best job in the world. And being a Burleson firefighter is even better than being a firefighter anywhere else. You asked about what did the department do for me. It gave me the opportunity, and many, many more that came before me and after me and with me, that it gave us the opportunity to develop our leadership skills. Whether you were just a firefighter or a captain, it was a leadership position being on the volunteer fire department, and you were expected to uphold a higher standard than everybody else.
I'm Cade Bennett. I've been here 5 years. I'm a firefighter. This department gave me a lot of great mentors and kind of showed me different things, whether it's financially, morally, skill-wise, just kind of formed me into a better man than I was before I got hired. Small engine stuff, working with tools more, having to do stuff with the rescue, woodworking, saws, stuff I didn't have to do coming out of high school, and got to this big boy job and had to learn how to do it and had some great dudes to show me. Morally, patient advocately wise, I had some great mentors on the ambulance, the squad when we had it, and just showing me the way of how to treat people and be empathetic and sympathetic. Who I've worked with, and Jefferson, working under him for so long with him, we've been through a lot together, a lot of bad calls. We got through a lot of stuff together. People I didn't work with a whole lot, like Don Wooten, I never worked with. We don't work together too much, but just talking with him in passing or on the phone, he's given me a lot of guidance on how to be a good leader, how to be a good brother for this department. I'd say we're pretty tight knit. It's not a huge department, so we're not huge. So we see each other, and we either get along or it's miserable, and nobody wants to be miserable. So we all get along pretty good. Whether it's functions outside, somebody's having a party, crawfish bowl, fish fry, or something, we all like to gather around. Out of extracurricular activities or outside trainings, everybody's willing to go with each other, no matter shift or crew. Everybody's rolling as one. a lot of guys, it's nice having guys in your corner to want you to get better. You want them to get better. We all have the same common goal. We all want to be the best we can be for this department and for each other and for ourselves. It's changed significantly. When I hired in, there was some hardships, but we all banded together and pushed through that, and we got to where we're here. Like top of the line equipment, stations, remodeling, they're all bad. They're all bad to the bone. They're just the progressiveness. We brought in a good. Fire marshal's investigator's office. We got some good dudes hired in outside, some fresh perspectives, bringing Chief Sobel in, just some fresh perspectives. This department's on the up and up. When we're growing, we're not going to stop growing. Dogs. We got some dogs amongst us because everybody, like I told you earlier, everybody wants to be the best for each other and for themselves. We all want to compete. We want to do hard stuff. Nobody wants it easy. Nobody wants it handed to them. And the ones who do want it handed to them, they're either changing their mind or they're not here.
Lori Fish. I started in 1996 to 2004. I had gone to EMT school and paramedic school and just stopped by the Burleson Fire Department to see if they needed anybody to help run calls for medical. I met Mark Crawford, and he said, well, we had a rookie class start last week. Come in, fill out your application, you start Saturday. So I started with the fire department. I went through the rookie training, served for 9 years on the fire department at Station 2, and loved every minute of it. So I was a paramedic firefighter before Burleson even had EMS in the city. Well, I learned discipline, giving up family events, and when they called, you showed up. So I was able to go on from being a paramedic to nursing school. I did a bridge program, and so now I've been a nurse for 13 years. I was on call every third night, so the night before I went on a trip, and then the night after I got home from a trip. We spent a lot of holidays and weekends together on call, and definitely helped me become, I think, a much better citizen for the city of Burleson, seeing what the fire department did and how they gave their all. Well, obviously it went from volunteer to full-time paid, which is wonderful because so many people have busy lives, and now it's getting harder and harder to get volunteers. So I think it's wonderful for the city that there's somebody there 24/7. The camaraderie. Because that was definitely huge for me, not knowing anybody when I moved to Burleson, and the cohesiveness of all the firefighters and their families. It was incredible. I had just moved to Burleson. I didn't know anybody. I was a single female. I had a roommate. I was a flight attendant, so I traveled all the time. And I met so many long-standing families from the Burleson area. So they really made me feel welcome to the community, and it was just a wonderful experience to meet so many fire department personnel that had families that had been generations of firefighters. Hang in there, because It's tough going at first, but you've got a great support system, and they really help you grow as a person. I hope that they know it's a great opportunity for anyone. A lot of people don't see very many women on the fire department, but they always made me feel welcome, part of the team, and that if you have hopes and dreams, follow them. Amazing. So I just think it was a wonderful place to learn and grow. I was able to use my paramedic skills and firefighting skills and really become an integral part of the community.